I'll be demonstrating the chain stitch or crochet cast on. And first I want to just show you what it looks like. So this is not that. This is your normal long tail cast on. And you can see along the bottom edge here, I have it cast on. And you've got sort of what looks like chain stitches, but really it's this row of individual little loops kind of going into a purl stitch. And then this is what the chain stitch cast on looks like. So this, or the crochet cast on. You can see it is individual little chain stitch V's. It looks really beautiful. And it's actually the mirror image of the regular bind off. So that's nice to know if you're working on a project. This is really nice along the edge of a smaller piece, a scarf or a sleeve or different applications. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, I am not a crocheter. I'm going to put this aside. I'm not a crocheter, and this was intimidating to me because of that, but just know it's totally easy. I'm going to just show you how to do it, and I'm actually just going to do it on one of the ends of this needle. If you're not used to working with circular needles, they're really great to store your work while you're working on other things. So I'm going to go ahead and cast on with this needle. You'll need a crochet hook that is roughly the same size as your working needle, but really that I've noticed doesn't really matter too much. So don't worry about getting it to match totally. We're going to do it in this red yarn. Get these out of the way here a little bit. And so what we're going to do first is just, instead of doing a slip knot on the crochet hook, I like to twist it so I don't have a knot in my working work. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick the crochet hook through and just give it a twist. You want the little tail just long enough to sew in later. And you stick this in your left hand along with your working needle. So you want to hold those together. And then you make an X with the crochet hook on top. So this first, what we're going to do, this first move is the trickiest part. I'm going to go ahead and just have my yarn in my right hand. And you want to, working with this X, go all the way around the back of the X. So your working yarn is coming out the back. You've got your twist on the crochet hook, and you just go around the back of the whole X, and then pull the crochet hook through the little loop. And this is tricky because since it's just a twist, there's not a lot of room. You kind of need to hold it with your thumb, how I'm doing with my left thumb there, just to squeak that one through. And then once that one's through, you can go ahead and tighten it a little bit. So there you have it. Now we're going to keep doing that. So you want to take your working yarn around the back of the whole X and pull it through the loop. So I'm going to cast on 10 stitches like this. And what you want to do is actually cast on one fewer than the final number of stitches that you need. So this is the fourth one. I'll show you why. So we're just going around the back of the whole X and pulling it through the loop. So now I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and since I'm doing 10 stitches, I want one fewer, so that's 9. And then for the final stitch, what we're going to do is just pull the crochet hook out a little bit so the loop gets loose, and then stick your needle into that loop purlwise, like so, and then just remove the crochet hook. And then go ahead and tighten it up a little bit. And there you have it. And now you've got, it looks a little wide and spaced out on the bottom, but once you do a row or two, that will really even out. I like to do the first row. I like to treat the cast on as row 1 and then do the first row as a purl row. And I usually slip the first stitch so it has a clean edge. And if you do it like that, I'll show you, then the right side of your work really shows off that nice chain stitch edge. So I'm just knitting across, or I'm rather purling across here. And another thing to look for is at the end of the first row, whoops, at the end of this first row, it might be a little loose, and you just want to make sure you really get in the right spot. So, okay, this is looking pretty normal actually, but sometimes this last one can be pretty loose. You might want to just tighten it down a little bit and make sure that you get the right position in there. So now that I've done one row here, now you can see this really beautiful chain stitch edge.